Order of the Arrow High Adventure is not something that's new, but we're going to discover it. Hey, ScouterStan. I want to talk a little bit about the Order of the Arrow's High Adventure. There's some really cool things going on with that. And this is something you need to bring up within your... Oh, wait a minute. I got to change. Hang on. There you go. I tell you what, the Order of the Arrow has so many little things going on, and it is great. It's how we retain older scouts. And there is a core value in the Order of the Arrow. It's called service, cheerful service. That's something we really believe in. It's something we do. We actually put that in action through High Adventure. Now, High Adventure started back in 1985. That was something that started as a trail crew out at Philmont. But there's been different testings and, different projects. We're not exclusive to High Adventure projects, but that's something that we've been doing for a great deal of time. In fact, my son was involved with ArrowCorps 5. Back in 2008, my son joined up ArrowCorps 5. This is actually his work helmet. It was in a box. And Dan went off to ArrowCorps 5. They branded in the back of his working helmet. And I'm so proud of this kid of mine. And I tell you, that's so cool. He worked on the Virginia route. So if you're an alumni, you probably saw him out there clearing horse trails. Now, the neat thing about it is they got to go out west. This was actually up north. It was in Virginia. But all different parts of the country. That's why they called it ArrowCorps 5. It wasn't, there's no 4, there's no 3. ArrowCorps 5 meant there were 5 areas throughout the United States where they were working. And they did a tremendous amount of work. In fact, they did these all 5 areas from June all the way through August of 2008. They did a wonderful job for the Forestry Service of the United States. The 5,000 scouts, arrowmen brothers, went out and did, that's another reason they called it ArrowCorps 5, okay? So, but 5,000 went out to the 5 different areas to do different jobs, different things that needed to be done for the Forest Reserve. They did over 280,000 hours of work for the Forestry Service. Now that turned out at the time to be about $5.6 million worth of work that was voluntarily given by Order of the Arrow Brothers. So there's, High Adventure and doing service, cheerful service, is nothing new. It's just been a little bit of evolving. They even did a Summit Corps at one point, and they got that going, and that's still one of the many things going on with High Adventure service. Now here is the core concept. The core concept is that the youth go out, they do service for a period of time. Usually it's if it's a 2-week thing, they spend 1 week giving service, and then they spend another week having fun at the place they're at. So High Adventure. Now think about it. You can actually go to Philmont and do service, which is meaningful, and get that Philmont experience. That is very important. Now the OA actually has a High Adventure areas. There's 5 of them throughout the United States. This kind of remembers or kind of harkens back to the ArrowCorps 5, okay? Because there's 5 areas currently where they have this High Adventure option. Most of these options that they have out there are from 16 to 20, 21 actually, that's the age range for most of them. The one exception is the summit area. That's the one where they can accommodate younger brothers in the order of the arrow. So between 14 and 18 years of age, they can handle that group. Now I'm going to put a link down below and I want you to go to it. It will show you all of the different areas, and I know it's going to spark your interest as a youth. But leaders, you need to go and see what they're looking at so that when they start saying, hey, Scoutmaster, I want to go and do this, you'll know what they're talking about. The first one they have up there is the Ocean Odyssey. Now this one is down in the Florida Keys. The next is the Summit Experience. This is the one up in West Virginia at the summit where you can actually do a little bit of work and enjoy the camp. And of course the old trail crew out there at Philmont. That is an experience. You definitely don't want to miss that. Especially the young people. They don't want to miss that. That's amazing. The Wilderness Voyage. That's up in our northern tier at the canoe base. They actually have a wonderful high adventure thing. And the last one is kind of international. It's Canadian Odyssey. That's something that's kind of new, but that is a big possibility where scouts who have a passport can go and travel and get to those different places. Now, that being the case, the one thing that when you're in the high adventure, when you've signed up for it and everything, you have to take care of your own transportation, and your cost is almost half of what it would cost if you went with a contingent, because they're using that sweat equity of you working a trail for a period of time for that reason. So that's something to seriously consider if you're on a budget or just can't afford the huge big package that's out there. This could be a great option. Okay, scout leaders, make sure that you check out those links because your scouts are going to check them out. You know, this channel is really set up for the adult leaders, but youth, watch these videos, okay? So you got to be on your toes, adults. You got to know what they're talking about. So check out that link. I'll leave it below, and make sure that you do that. And I tell you what, adult leaders, you're doing great, and scouts, and especially brothers, you're doing awesome. Just keep up that great work. We're in a good cause, right? So anyhow, I will see you on the trail.